Hey guys, it's Kennedy. It's your girl Kennedy, a whole single, and I'm just coming back at you today with another episode. And I just want to touch bases with you about keeping your wholeness intact. And sometimes being whole means that we have to clip. We have to clip some people off and clip some people out of our lives and clip some people out of our days. Okay, so now Sunday, Pastor Doug Taylor, he says this quite often. And anything he said once, he can say it twice. And he said that, he was bringing up someone in the ministry that had went to this certain person to ask them for information or advice, and they gave them, they just messed up their whole day. Oh, every time I go to them, they always say something. They ain't got nothing right to say. Okay, so then they said the preacher man asked, said, well, why'd you go and ask them? If every time you go to this person and ask them a question or get some advice or need something ministered into your spirit, if they're not ever ministering anything positive, feeding you anything positive, then that may be somebody you need to not ask for advice from or go to guidance. My pastor in Florida, Bishop Halsey D. Watkins, he said it this way. He said, don't worry why I don't come down your street again. It was a dead end the first time. So, see, all of that says, that saying where some people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Please do. You'll keep in your peace that way. If sometimes we, through whatever, through the kindness of our heart or just the diligence of our spirit, wanting someone to change and wanting someone to be that better person, not just for you, but for themselves. And when you see that they're not going to change, they not. If the cow came out and the cow black, that cow gonna be black to the day they slaughter him and we put him on the grill. You understand? That black cow not gonna get white spots. Now the singer Shirley said it the best, ain't but one that can make a brown cow eat green grass and give you white milk. See, that was hey, the only Jesus can wash us white as snow. And so sometimes we have to ask. And some people, it seems like they may be wherever in parts of their life or whatever in stage in their life, and they feel like they don't need to change or they're not going to change or, they're always going to make sure that they have the last word. Or, sometimes it's exhausting. It's exhausting to see someone that you love manipulate people, push people away from them, and no longer have that close knit group of family or friends around them that some people just get to the point where they can't tolerate you. And so this is where I'm saying, if you have this person or people like this in your life, although it may hurt, you gotta just cut them. You gotta cut away from them. You gotta give them 50 feet. You gotta give them a few yards. You're gonna have to give them some distance, time, and space, because sometimes those people, they don't understand that their words are damaging. That's why even the word tells us to season our words with salt, to give them seasoning, to make sure that flavor is going to taste well when it's received. You don't eat spoiled meat, so why would you want spoiled words? You don't drink bad, but they said don't drink bad grapes. They call them wine, but that's different. That's fermented, and I don't drink that either. But even still, whatever you ingesting in your body, you have to be very aware. You know how some people, they read the box, see how many calories are on the box of something, see how much fat grams it has. Sometimes you got to flip that thing over and read the box, read the label. If the label says handle with care, handle it with care. And sometimes people, you got to flip them over and read the box. If the box say that they always corrupt, they've been corrupt, they ain't gonna change. If the box still says that they still holding on to anger, hurt, malice in the side of that box. If the box reads that they still got the worst ingredients, they ain't changed, they ain't got no all natural, they ain't got no we finna change over, ain't no, oh no gluten. if the box still says that they're holding these things, how do you know you reading the box? You read that box every time they open their mouth and tell you the label. You read the box every time they tell you how many ounces it is. That's that criticism. It's always trying to weigh you down. You understand? So sometimes you got to cut folks out. And I mean, I get a lesson on this, on everything that I come to you with, that believe me, he make me live it first. Just like Jeremiah, seemed like I had to wear that yoke before I could tell somebody how to pull it. And I say that with all sincerity because I have been through a lot in this life at 51 years old. And I thank God for every year because every year it's something different. This year, I can truly say is better than last year. This day today is better than this day was last year. But what I have to do, sometimes you have to give some time, some space, and some distance to some people that no matter how they see you or how much you've obtained and how well you're doing for yourself in your life, they will always find a way to be negative towards you or negative about you. And sometimes, no matter how much we love people or love a person, sometimes for your own best benefit, to keep your sanity and your peace. See, God said in His Word, His peace that He leaves with us, His peace He give us, not as the world. So, see, these people, although they may have titles, some call themselves minister, elder, some call them reverend, some call them just sis, some call them boo. But whatever it is, that doesn't give them the right to treat you or say things to you that's not in good taste. I used to tell someone in my life, just because you think you have the right to say something doesn't mean it's the right thing to say. And that being said, sometimes if you know this person is never has anything positive to say. They always want to carry a bone and take one, draw one. They pull a bone. What they call a dog that'll bring you a bone or carry one. If they always got something to say about somebody else, or they're always close, whatever they gossiping. See that? See, ladies, as we waiting for our Boaz or Brendan John or Lawrence or whoever it is, while we're waiting, we're not supposed to be. We're supposed to be busy about God's business, keeping our house, making sure our kids straight, making sure those family members that we can reach and touch, that we're doing our best for them, making sure that the people in our community that we can reach out and touch, that we're doing these things. This is our lives. These are the things that God instructs us to do. Say, keep our own house. I don't go dilly dallying in yours. You understand? That mean I ain't gossiping. I ain't worried about what's going on over there. And some people, they can get so caught up in other folks' business, so they really don't have a life of their own. They live vicariously through other folks. And so those people don't have their own set of peace. See, I refuse to let a person take the peace that God gave me. So when I continuously see this person for who they are, sometimes out of love, I'm going to be very honest. Sometimes out of love, I'll try to push past it and forgive and forgive and forgive. But then the word does tell us to forgive, but he don't say you got to be a fool. He don't say you got to constantly put yourself in a position to continue to have to forgive someone. Okay, so this is somebody that was supposed to, that's wise in my eyes taught me. But anyway, let's do this. Protect. See, when we talk about the armor of the Lord, the armor of God says put on your helmet of salvation. Sometimes you have to la 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 la. You have to close off your ears to people that say foolish things, to people that always hurtful or harmful, always have something negative to say. Nothing is never good enough for them, or it's never their fault. They never had a play in it, or they always did this to me. And it's so we have to be very careful about the people that we continue to allow in our realm, into our spirit space, into our head space, into our proximity. Because you know what? They can be very aggravating to our spirit, to our peace. I ain't say they're gonna take it, but they can aggravate your peace in a way where you're trying to figure out what I'm upset about. You crying over nothing, crying over stuff happened 20, 30 years ago. whatever it is, or you're upset, you're mad, your things ain't going right, you're talking, you're cussing your kids out, you're talking to your members, your clients all crazy, and they're like, oh, we can take our business. No, we can't do that. You got to keep your peace, sis, bruh. If they ain't doing it right, don't do it with them. So don't go back and forth in conversation with somebody that want to just take your peace, and be guarded. Put that helmet of salvation on. It keeps us safe. It guards your mind against those attacks of the enemy that come through those thoughts, through those negative thoughts, through those self doubts, those I can't, I won't be, I should have, I would have did. You gotta cut that off. And I just want to give a big shout out to a young lady that I love more than life, my daughter Asia. That's my prayer partner. That's my ace boom. Because you know what? When she needs mama, mama's there. And when I need her, guess what? The great thing about pouring the word of God into your children is because you never know when you might need them to send that same word to you. And I thank God that I poured so much into her, and she knows that word, that when she see me look not right, and I'm trying to be that example, as someone said to me Sunday, that she knows her mother. She knows when her mother's hiding a feeling or something's going on. She knows how to pray. She know how to say, hey, Mom, can I just give you a hug? Hey, Mom, it's going to be all right. I know it is. And then that same little innocent face at 30 looks the same like she's 5, because it's that same genuine love, that same genuine, authentic love that casts out all fear. You know that this one has nothing. So guess what? Be attentive to your feelings, and be attentive to how someone else makes you feel. If you know, guard your peace, guard your future. Don't you know when those doubts and all of those, that pity and woe is me start wearing on you because you talking to somebody that mentions your yesterday and makes you feel like you should have been farther than where you are now, and you start sinking into that, you start sinking into what you didn't do yesterday instead of focusing on that straight and narrow, focusing on where I'm going, focusing on the dream that God has set before me, focusing on those things that I'm claiming and calling, focusing on those things that I'm declaring that God said in His Word that I can have, that He's going to give me. Instead of focusing on those things, He said in His Word, think on these things, whatsoever is good and lovely and pure and of a good report. Think on these things. He didn't say think about back then when you was and what you coulda, woulda, shoulda did. You didn't, so now you're here. Let's focus on today and make today great. And if we make today great, let's think about we're going to command tomorrow to be even greater. But guys, I just want to come to you because this is a Rima right now word. And He's just saying to us, be on guard for who you listening to, who you allow to get into your ear space, because they can start making you bring up old feelings, like you had a old abuse. Say you had an abusive parent, and that person, you know, you figure all the years they've changed, but they still really, they just might not hit you with their hand, but they hit you with their words. Sometimes you have to withdraw. You have to withdraw from whomever it is. God said in His Word, if the right hand offends you, cut it off. That means it doesn't matter how close in bloodline or whatever somebody is, if it's your own. If my if my breast was gonna kill me with that cancer, I say y'all cut them off, because the rest of me can live and function and do God's will. But if I let that cancer stay in me and grow and grow and grow, it's gonna kill the whole thing, and that voice that God wants me to have will be no longer. So whatever it is, you got to pluck it off. You got to pluck it off, even if it hurts for a moment, because guess what? On the other side of that is life and light and love and brilliant skies and those things that you're commanding. Oh yes, I'm speaking in existence. I got a cattle on 1,000 hills. I'm speaking in existence that I drink water from with my own cisterns. And I say that I'm not just talking about my own husband, which I may have again one day, but I'm talking about my own faucet when I turn it on. I ain't got no landlord. I ain't got nobody telling me that I got to wait for them to fix nothing and all this kind of stuff. I'm talking about land that I hadn't had money to. He said, I'll give you land and houses and land that you didn't even have the money to build. So that's what I'm claiming. But if I start focusing on, I had 20 years ago, I had this and I should have did that and I would have did this. And if I had did that, then I would have been, that energy is so exhausting. It uses so much energy to go backwards. You understand? You can't even put eyes in the back of your head for a reason because he wants you to see forward. And so, yeah, I got a little serious today because I need us to stay in our wholeness. It's so many things that pluck and pull and try to crack you and reshape you and move you out of your precious vastness of, of beautifulness. But guess what? Beauty on the inside. And you got to protect that beauty. Because sometimes people will dampen your day and you start becoming dark towards others. Can't do that. Say, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He making me to lie down and green pet. Sends me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He make my cup run over. He keep me protected. He keep me fed. He keep me supplied. He keep me with everything I need. Because David said, I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor a seed beg bread. So I had to go in confidence with the word of God. And so with that being said, he said, you got to turn from them. You got to turn from people. Even when I first started preaching, they told me, they say, I used to look up at the cloud because it was one in particular person. Every time I would preach, if I looked at that person, their body mechanics, their face would make me question what I'm saying. And I'm like, I'm not saying this. I read it, studied, and prayed, and God is what's saying it. So are you affecting me like that? And I'm up here showing forth God's word. Sometimes you have to be able to be aware of the people that you communicate with. And if you communicating with somebody and every time you speak to them it hurts your feelings, if you can't talk to them and get them to understand that, hey, when you talk to me like this, hurts my feelings. So when you go back and lie on me, that makes me really, have a hard time being around you and being able to trust you. If you go through all that and they still can't change and still don't figure out the error of their own ways and that you're coming to them in love, then hey, what? We have to start cutting off some things. We have to shed some things in life in order to pull. We talking about that baggage. Bag lady, you gon' get yours. We not carrying around all them bags like that. Got a bag for this person's garbage and a bag for that person's stuff. And they dump it all on you because they figure you can handle it. Or they figure you just not gonna say anything. So guess what? We gotta start speaking up for ourselves and telling people how they're gonna treat us. Command how a person's gonna speak and talk and treat you. You don't got to be rude about it, but hey, I didn't like that. I don't know. You're going to have to back off on me with that. Please don't lie on me. Please don't. And if they figure, you give them some time to say they're going to do it, they're not going to change. So then you have to put them in a category that saves. Put in the chat, who is it in your life that could talk to you a little better? Who is it in your life that you wondering about? Do I need this person to stay? Or should I really, cut them away? Put it in the chat. We're going to pray about it and we're going to talk about it because we're going to maintain our wholeness and we're going to keep our peace. But anyway, guys, I love you guys by the gallons. I thank you so much for all of my subscribers, all of the people that view and watch and don't subscribe. I love you too. But I wish you would subscribe, like the channel, share it so we can get more people in our community to join this wholeness journey so that we can pull strength one from another, as the word says. Anyway, guys, I love you again by the gallons. Peace, love, and chicken grease. And why chicken grease?